Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got an email regarding the MTGOW, the Men Going Their Own Way video that I did. You can check out that video. That video, I think, may have the record for the largest number of comments per view ratio and the fastest amount that I've gotten comments on a video. You guys were very excited about that video, had a lot to say, so I appreciate the dialogue and the discussion. There were some good dialogues there, and there wasn't actually that much hate, so that's cool, right? You know, we can talk about this stuff. This is important stuff. So you might guess that this is a man video, or rather, this is one of those videos that would go into the attracting females, attracting a woman, and becoming a better man videos that I've done for some of you here. And this one is about prostitutes. I haven't talked about prostitutes. Hey, I've talked about porn, I've talked about masturbation, I've talked about all kinds of stuff, white male privilege, all of these topics, but have I not talked about prostitutes? I believe I haven't. So let's do that. So I got this email from Mike, and he says, "Hey, hi John, I watch your MGTOW video, and I thought it was a pretty good take on an ideology that is often misunderstood." Well, thank you. You kind of glossed over this, but it's clear you see prostitutes as a bad thing for men. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why you think this is. And he says, "I'm all for self-improvement, but you know there are men that are never going to have any real sex life no matter how much effort they put in." I disagree on that. Okay, I'm one of those guys, being both short and hearing impaired, and prostitutes have been a tremendous benefit in my life, not to mention the time and energy I save by not participating in the dating scene. Yes, I know there are women that would consider me, but they are either much more disabled than I am, obese, or a single mother. The juice ain't worth the squeeze, as a lot of guys would say. As always, thanks for all the videos you put out, Mike. So, Mike, here's the thing. I get what you're saying, man. I totally get what you're saying, but I totally 100% disagree, and I'll tell you why. It's a crutch, right? I talk about this all the time. I'm sure that I've got some videos on crutches that you can check out here, but this is not, first of all, it's not true, okay, what you're saying. I mean, okay, so maybe you're hearing impaired and you're short. That does not necessarily mean that you're discounted out of the gene pool, right? I mean, there's gonna be, you're still gonna have opportunity. You're gonna have to have a higher level of game. You're gonna have to present more. You're gonna have to be more confident, right? And so taking this attitude is definitely not gonna help you. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some level of disability or some level of severe handicap that would make it pretty much impossible for you, but I don't think this is it, right? Being hearing impaired and short, to me, doesn't qualify. Now, I could be wrong here. I haven't lived in your shoes, but I'm just saying that I feel like you're counting yourself out a little bit too early, and there's a lot of guys out here. The reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of you're counting yourself out just because you're short, just because you're fat or whatever it is, or you think you're ugly. I mean, some of you are ugly, all right, it's cool, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as bad as you think. Again, a lot of you guys, what you're thinking about is you're thinking about the same mindset that you think that women think about attractiveness and sexuality in the same way that guys do. And to some degree, there's some overlap, of course. I mean, women like hot guys. There's not a question about that. And guys like hot girls. But that's where the similarities end, right? Because for guys, I've said this, I think I said this in the Men Going Their Own Way video, but I would say that like the physical attractiveness, like in general, of a woman is 90% of the equation for guys. Like at least, you know, for the first, you know, I think there's more depth to that relationship later on, but initially, right, in getting on the first date or second date, or so that's what it is. That's mostly what guys are attracted to, right? That's a big chunk of it. Whereas for females, it's a little bit different, right? I mean, everyone's different, but in general, I'd say that the attraction part, like the raw physical attraction, is maybe like 10%, and then the other 90% is the persona, it's the confidence, it's, you know, and this applies for both sexes, of course, but it's just that, you know, whether whether my 10 and 90% ratios are correct, I'm using extremes, that doesn't matter. The point is that it is different, and you cannot think that women think the same way guys think. It's a fallacy. It is not the correct way to think. So confidence as a man is going to get you a lot further than having a good personality would as a female. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is key to understand. So I would say here, again, back to the prostitute thing, that prostitution is a crutch. It's not benefiting you as much as you think. I mean, you think you're meeting a need, but to me, there's really not a huge amount of difference between, porn and masturbation and hiring a prostitute. Now, again, I'm not saying that I've walked in your shoes. I don't know what it's like to be a short guy that's hearing impaired. I don't, but I do know what it's like to be a dork. I do know what it's like to be overweight. I do know what it's like to not be looking great. And yeah, so I can relate. So my point is this, is that try and develop the confidence, right? Don't just count this out, right? Don't just say, okay, well, prostitutes is a good option for guys that are never going to get it like me, because so many of you guys, you do that, right? And that just doesn't, that's a cop-out answer, right? That's like, okay, let me see you develop everything else to the highest potential first, and then we'll say, then I'll give you the pass. Then I'll say, okay, here's the prostitute pass. If there is one, right? And I hear in Berlin there's like some place where you can just get a pass and you can just go in and whatever and have fun. But let's not sidetrack here. My point is this: is that what have you done? Have you developed yourself to the max, right? So if you're short, okay, let's take, because a lot of you guys are like, oh, I'm short, I'm never gonna get laid. Okay, yeah, but you know what? If you're friggin' ripped and you're buff and you got a good sense of style, you got a good haircut, you got nice clothes, right? You present yourself well, you've got confidence, you've got the personality, you know your game a little bit, right? Then if you've done all that and you're still not having success, and you're going out there and making approaches, and you're going out there and trying to develop that skill set, then okay, now you've got an argument. But if you haven't done all that, then you still got a long way to go. And so, again, I'm not saying that it's the same thing. Like, you could say, like, oh, well, no one needs morphine. Morphine is a crutch. And you say, well people need morphine, or people need medical marijuana. Okay, yeah, but here's the thing, like, let's try all the other shit first, and then if you just like have chronic pain and we can't deal with it, then yeah, let's get you on the morphine drip. Okay, I'm a humane person. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe you need medical marijuana. I can go with that. It's just that, like, the second you get a splinter, I'm not giving you morphine. I'm not giving you medical marijuana. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I feel like you're saying, some of you guys are like, oh, fuck it, I can't get laid, so I'm just gonna hire a prostitute, and that's good for me. That's like, I got a splinter, I better get some medical marijuana, get a morphine drip going on, right? It's not gonna help you, right? You're gonna feel good, but you're not gonna do anything about it, right? You're gonna feel like you've got a problem solved that you don't have solved. Because how do you feel about your confidence? How do you feel about yourself? You want to bet that this is going to affect you or not affect you in the rest of your life? If you feel like you're using a crutch and you got to use a prostitute because you don't feel like you're enough of a man to go out there and procure yourself a woman, then it's going to affect you in the other areas of your life. You're going to feel inadequate in that way, right? This is why crutches are bad, is because, yes, they may be a good Band-Aid for a problem. They may cure the pain that you're feeling at a moment in time, but it's meeting a desire, it's meeting a necessity at a very low level of sustenance, and it's preventing you from feeling enough pain to go out, improve your life, and get what you actually want and deserve out of life. So that's where I would say with this, right? Just don't count yourself out too early. Don't use the crutch. Again, if you've gone through everything, and I mean everything, I want to see you fucking send me a picture of your six-pack and your, and all of the stuff that you've done, right? That to improve yourself, how you've developed not just your appearance, right, but your game and your presence and your confidence. And I'd say, John, I've talked to 1,000 girls and tried to pick up on it, and they all tell me that I look like Alf, okay? And I want to see a picture of you looking like Alf. And that's the best you can do. After that, then yeah, I'll give you that gold pass and you can go over wherever, you know, but until you hit that point, don't fucking give up this easy. Come on. Let's grow some balls. Let's go a little bit deeper here. Let's not use a crutch unless we have to. We don't need morphine because we got a fucking splinter, okay? So that's what I gotta say about that. You know, again, I would say that just like I said with the morphine or the medical marijuana, maybe there's a point, maybe there's, and I'm sure there is, where it's just like it's hopeless, okay? But I have seen, there was this guy, you know, I'll wrap up the video here in a second, but there was this guy, and I've seen this many times, right? I mean, I've seen a guy that's a paraplegic that he's missing his arms and legs, and he's got a pretty hot girlfriend, right? He's a motivational speaker. I can't remember his name. I know you guys, I've pointed to him before, but I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty hot girlfriend or wife, right? Like, he doesn't have arms or legs, okay? Come on, think about this, right? He doesn't have arms or legs, okay? That's a pretty big disadvantage. I've seen midgets, okay? Again, not making fun of midgets, but I've seen midgets that you would not say that this is I mean, they're short, okay? And they're not exactly, it's not exactly the most attractive, you know, genetic defect to have, okay? But I've seen them with hot girls, okay? So, so don't count yourself out so easily, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying here. And you know, if at the end of the day you've tried everything and then you've got to go to a prostitute, well, I mean, I suppose that's your business. I'm not gonna. I just want to see you do your best first. That's all I'm saying. And I think that a lot of you guys, you have a unrealistic underestimation of what your best is. So with that said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, this channel is about becoming your fucking best. That's what this channel is about. That's what Simple Programmer is about. Click that subscribe button, click the bell, get all the videos as soon as I release them, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.